Then, I feel a little bit better. I've been down for 10 days in the house quarantine, you know, and the doctor said it wasn't COVID, but I still didn't want to take no chances. And I'm sorry, I want to apologize for missing a couple of weeks, missing the meeting. I miss you guys a lot. And maybe later on I get a chance to talk. This brother right here, him and Nikki, they were just on my mind for 2 weeks. They were on my mind for 2 weeks. And maybe I could say why they were on my mind and how powerful this meeting really is powerful to a lot of people. You know, everybody got problems, but I'm feeling much better, you guys. I did all my medicine and I quarantined. But so I feel good that I'm back on my feet and that I'm feeling much better after 10 days. And so I'm glad to be here.
All right. You're gonna go across the room, the Los Angeles shirt. Talk to me. Tell me your name, tell me how you feel.
My name is Michael, aka anyway, Michael Knight. I feel optimistic.
Feel optimistic.
Because we want to learn that.
Okay, that's the whole purpose of being here, sir. Saving lives and empowering each other so we can learn.
Yes, sir.
Okay, brother in front of you. State your name, tell me how you feel.
My name is Zay. It's a pleasure to see everybody here tonight. I feel happy for my kids. I feel really good about them today. Receiving a lot of lessons from kids, rather than adults. Because sometimes it is the bigger lesson. I like to share that today.
Okay, sister sitting in front of you.
I feel good today.
In your name is?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Kat.
Okay.
I feel good today. Today I feel really good. I put on my queen shirt. I know I'm a queen. I just had to advertise it.
Okay.
So whenever I get in that mood, I put your shirt on. So that's how I'm feeling today.
Okay, yes, you are a queen.
Thank you.
Okay, and the gentleman to your right.
Deshun, I feel inspiring.
Okay, and why you feel inspired, sir?
Well, because I was invited. It's like full circle for me. At one point, I was in one of these chairs, and now I'm back in the chair, serving the same purpose that I did when I was in the chair. Now I can give back what was given to me, and that's my inspiration is to do today.
All right. Well, my name is Sam, and I'm feeling real good. Real good because of the progress and growth of Inglewood Second Call. And most importantly, our guest speaker here tonight, Deshun Allen with Mr. PowerBliss Incorporated, happens to be a childhood friend of mine, all the way down to Warren Lane, 7th grade. And I've been kind of running with the normal flow of Second Call and following behind Skip and Rose, and no, you do your own thing. So tonight my topic is if you believe you can achieve. The reason why I say that, this young gentleman at the age of 12, 13, in 7th grade, Warren Lane, he asked me two things. I want you to be my DJ, and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know what an entrepreneur was. I'm on my own business, I'm on my company. Even though I went through all my trials and tribulations of life, he still remained in contact with me. And I watched his progress over 20 years employ himself and still survive throughout the pandemic, things we're going through right now currently. So I'm bringing that to the table tonight to share with you. For those that are interested in being an entrepreneur, there may be some things you know, there may be some things you don't know. But I would like to turn it over to you, Mr. Allen. Have at it, brother.
Thank you. I'd rather face everyone, so come on in.
Come on in, Mom.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. So I'm looking to the left of my own.
Right.
have better face contact with everyone. Again, Deshun Allen with PowerBliss Enterprise, Inc. I work for PowerBliss. Keyword, I work for PowerBliss. Entrepreneurship doesn't mean it's all about me. It's about the business that you are developing and you're taking care of. It's your responsibility to take care of your business as if it's your child. So you have to have tenacity, determination, to be focused. And now the new thing of business is actually have an opportunity. If you keep an opportunity in front of you, then you can make any business thrive. You just have to find an opportunity. The way we used to become your own business has changed. It's totally different now. You can be almost 13, 11, 12 years old if you come up with an idea or there's an opportunity or a need that's out there that someone wants and you provide the service. That makes you an entrepreneur. So, brief history about where I came from. I had an idea that there's plenty of information and footage of me when I was young, like Sam said. I kind of had my vision of what I wanted my life to be young. And aside from just being a business person, what I wanted to have was a standard of life that I could maintain. That I can actually say, how long am I going to continue working? When am I going to, if I decided to work for someone, work for myself, or be a philanthropist, how long am I going to work? There should be a point in your life that you want to stop working. You want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's just deciding how you want to get to that point and how long you want to continue working before you get to that point to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So that's two things. We're going to cover two parts here in this discussion of entrepreneurship and actually your standard of life and how using an entrepreneurship to be able to get you there and to think about these things to actually figure out when do I stop working. But like all of us, who wants to wake up and have someone tell you what time you got to be there and what time you get off, when you take your lunch and when you get to have a vacation? That's the reason why we think entrepreneurship is the thing we want to do. But if you look at any business, there is a whole bunch of moving parts that are going on. Are you prepared to do all those moving parts to make your business, which is an entrepreneur, all those auxiliaries to be successful? We think of an idea, oh, I'm gonna open up an ice cream shop. Well, okay, who's gonna open up? Who's gonna do inventory? Who's gonna stock? Who's gonna serve? Who's gonna do customer service? Who's gonna get the shirts? Who's gonna pay for that? All that stuff with these people that have in that company, you are now the entrepreneurs responsible for all those things. So we always look at, oh, I see a lot of money out there. But you gotta realize that someone is governing over the money that you're making. That's the first thing an entrepreneur needs to learn how to do is how to manage your business with who's governing how you make your money and how much money you make. You can see people make a lot of money all the time, but you see a lot of those companies fall because they're not managing their business successful enough to be successful after they make the money. You know who that person is, IRS, franchise tax board. These are the people that govern you. So every million you make, 35% of that goes to them. So you need to learn the business side of it as well. How am I smart enough to be able to keep as much of that gross money for myself to get me to the standard of life that I want to where I don't have to keep working? Because if you don't do that, you'll see that they'll take that money and you'll find yourself, I'm still working and even harder because I still got to give them that 30% of that earning. That's the boring side of being an entrepreneur. It's not very exciting, it's not very glamorous. But the faster you learn that, the easier you can figure out, well, this is pretty easy. Now I want to definitely open up the questions and answers. You can ask me anything personal about my finances, anything. Because the only way you learn is that you have to be an open book. And I'm going to give you a second, I'm going to just finish a little bit of the story so you can actually figure out what kind of questions you want to ask. Okay. So before I go back into entrepreneurship, back to that standard of life situation.
Has any of you ever decided where do I want to be when it comes to I'm done with working? Have you ever thought about what does that look like? You know, what do I have? Where am I living at? What are the materialistic things that I think I deserve that I should have regardless if I work or not? Have you thought about those simple things? Those things kind of determine how hard you're going to work. Because once you achieve the goals and took care of everything to get to that point, you can basically semi-retire. You don't have to really work as hard because you can say, and I want to bring me into the fold. When I was 18 years old, I had already figured out what I wanted. I wanted to live in Cerritos. I wanted to have a work van. I wanted a 1965 Volkswagen, a 1960 Mustang, and I didn't want to work for nobody. I achieved all that when I was 23 years old. Besides the house, I didn't get that quite until I got to 26. But I didn't move to, everything came to fruition with the exception of moving to Cerritos. I found a beautiful home in Los Angeles. But then after that, I said, okay, how hard do I need to work now? Now I can spend all my energy and my time taking care of my family, giving back to the community, not chasing after the dollar all the time, saying I need to make this certain amount of money. I don't have to do it anymore because I made sure that I did those 20 years of hard working in my entrepreneurship to put me in a position to where, okay, you fire me, no problem. I'll go work at Target if I want to. I'm driving a better car than the manager there because I can afford it because I don't have the overhead. I have no overhead. I made a goal when I turned 45. I said I want to own everything that I have. I didn't quite make that. It took me 4 more years to do that. So at 48, I own everything. Everything is mine. Company's mine. My car's mine. My house is mine. My commercial property is mine. I have no debt. So now all my time and energy is figuring out what am I going to do today? Do I want to go help the church? And of course, I'm a Capricorn, so I got to make a little bit of love offering for what I'm doing. So I go out there and take all this knowledge of 20 years of being in the IT industry, of being in the multimedia industry, and I'll go to a church and I'll teach them how to do social media. I'll go to the schools and teach young people how to do social media. And they're all, I'll give you this, Mr. Allen, for coming out. And now I get pleasure out of doing that and still making money to make sure I get the ice cream I want. I can take a vacation if I want to and take long trips with family members as I see fit. I live a simple life because I chose to make it simple, but everyone can determine if you want your life to be a little bit more elaborate than mine, then you need to figure out that standard of life that you want, and your time of work needs to get you there. The faster you get there, the faster you can enjoy your life that you choose to want it to be. So when do you want to stop working? And that can either be, as they say now, they have this status quo in us business people. They have poor people, middle class, and they have rich people thinking. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely, my frame of thinking, even at that age, was a middle class thinker. I just didn't want to work for anybody, and I wanted to control the money that I made. Pretty much poor thinking, as I say, is a person who just goes to work and I pay bills all day. Middle class, I want to control how much money I make, but I'm still paying bills and I actually have the luxury of coming and going as I see fit. A rich person says, I work long enough and then now my money needs to keep paying me so I don't have to work. Those are the 3 areas. I started in the middle, now I'm in the rich area of thinking. But I'm glad that I learned that because that's how I was raised. But I saw an opportunity, which was in computers, was into music because I loved it. The first thing in an entrepreneurship I recommend anyone, find something that you love to do. At least 3 things that you love to do. Because once one is not doing well and you're having a hard time, if you love it, you will keep working at it. Don't be a real estate agent if you really don't care about houses and how they're built. And how the electrical is ran and plumbing. If you don't love any of that, then don't just think, oh, big houses and they make all this quick $30,000 sales. Believe me, it doesn't work that easy. I lost 3 properties in 2008. But when I go back to the other point, the reason why I didn't lose all the other properties is because I learned what the IRS wanted, I knew what the franchise board wanted, and I kept the most valuable properties, which is my home and my commercial property. So you gotta learn how to navigate through those obstacles to make sure that you can, when something goes bad, how do you sustain and maintain your business? So when the bad things happen, which again, personally again, I sat in that chair, something I never would have thought would have happened to me, because I am a square person, and life got me. But my thought process of saying, okay, by me doing my business, conservative with my money, having business ventures that would actually give me some savings, when I lost what I had the means to pay for it out of under my mattress. Paid for it. Came out, never did I lose my home. Never did I lost some of my contracts due to what I was in trouble for. But I still had other avenues. That's because I had 3 things that I love to do, but I had to lose one because of what I fell into. So that's the reason why I do the 3. But you gotta love it, because when it's a slow time, you gotta be able to say, hey, I wanna push through this, because no one's paying me, but I love doing it. So until it picks up again, I'm still gonna be out there pushing that business. So you gotta love it. So I'm now I'm gonna open up a little bit of the Q&A questions that you may wanna ask me, or any ideas about what you're doing, about what I share with you. First, I want you to think about is the standard of life idea, because that will make you decide which one of the 3. If I'm working, you can still do it. If you're an entrepreneur, you can still do it. If you're a rich person, of course you can do it. But there's a lot of rich people that you can't understand why are they jumping out of a building and making billions and billions of dollars, because they're not handling and managing their money right. They're not handling the purposes that are governing their business to where I make $1 million, but I owe $2 million to them, and I'm just using what I have to put this aside. So you don't want to fall in that category you can't get away from. So now this is an opportunity to have a few questions, and then I will elaborate a little bit more if need be. So first thing is, you have a question?
Yeah, I want to ask you, all my young boyhood experience, why is it that you may go to a hat store and buy a hat from a black owner? You come back 6 months later, what happened to the hat store? He's out of business. Most of all our black business, how long they gonna be open for? How long this shoe store gonna be open for? How long this mom and pop gonna be open for? I always experienced our businesses in our community, they never stay for longevity. Like Fat Burgers and Amos, who's the guy at the chocolate chip cookies? Boo Boo. All my business. Why is it that we only stay in business just for a minute? What happens?
There's a couple of answers to that. Everyone's situation is different. So one of them I kind of already explained is how you manage your business. You can go in and say, I want a hat business, but did you take into consideration what it takes to have a hat business? Do you know the selling of a hat that's selling for $15? Am I able to sell enough hats in the demographic area I'm in to pay for my employees, pay for the rent that I'm having in this location, insurance that I have because I got this place as well? Can my hats be able to sell that? Is my product branded good enough to where people will spend, if I gotta ask for $25, $35, $40 for this hat, to be able to cover my overhead? This is that groundwork when you think I'm an entrepreneur, the boring stuff before you jump in there. Sometimes, if it doesn't work, then let me find something else. Sometimes being real with yourself and saying, I don't think it just balances it out. The numbers just don't equate. Even though I love it, you just gotta deal with the facts. I may not be able to survive. And then you find yourself in a worse situation by starting a business because you took out a loan possibly. You got this lease agreement that's for 12 months. You can't get no commercial property unless you do 12 months, and you gotta do that. So you're obligated. So if the business done well, like the old movie in the casino, pay me. You gotta pay regardless. So it's about thinking about what the business you're going to do and be real with yourself when you look at the pros and cons, the profit and losses. Can I uphold this for 5 years? Most persons do not. If you can't make 5 years, you're not going to see the green side of it. And if you're doing really well, maybe you can do it in 2 years, but keep that in mind when you do that. So that's one explanation as to why that hat business is closed. The other's one of the famous Amos's. Well, opportunities for our race is not the same as white races. So, you know, Amos did a great job, great product, making good money and whatnot, but a lot of those doors, he's not getting into the same stores. He can't get into Target, you know, in some of the big market stores as the other ones. And if he does get in there, he's paying more for that same shelf space than the others. So what did he do? He sold companies. He decided my standard of life, get back to that. My standard of life is that, you know what, I live good, but I'm now tired of working the cookies. I want to now live my life of the fruits of my labor. So now, it's not famous Amos, it's famous Aaron. Probably now. But he did what he wanted to do because it was that time. And unfortunately, we have to sell to get that standard of life the way we want. So that's a good example, possibly as to why he sold his business, like a lot of others. You know, we look at a lot of Louisiana chicken, they're going. We look at Roscoe Chicken and Waffles, they're going. You know, he sold it and said, I'm tired of working. Because that was probably his choice. And we have to look at, he wanted to retire. And it's good. It's time you want to just stop looking at bad. You want to stop frying that chicken. I'm tired, you know, and dealing with all the headaches that come along with entrepreneurship on that level. Commercial businesses like that.
Golden Bird.
Golden Bird. Jim Dan.
Pioneer. Pioneer chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, the last one sold 7 years ago. The last one was on Highland. Over here. Over here is where the last one was before they sold it. And I went in there and had my last piece of chicken before they closed.
Are you saying we're not getting, sir? Are you saying we're not getting a fair shake like KLC? He's been in the business for life. And when it comes to us, we get tired and then why we can't pass it on to the next generation?
Well, the decision of deciding if you're going to stay a mom and pop business, that's different than when you franchise. KFC is not owned by Colonel. He sold that decades ago. So that's a whole different level.
Okay.
And you're not controlling that. Usually we don't get to franchise, and a lot of times we don't want to franchise immediately because you no longer have any control, and you can get voted out of your own business if you're not satisfying the shareholders. So and mind you, you're probably the only black person at the table. And when you have those shareholders, because those that are shareholders are investing a large sum of money into what you put together, and then their ideas take away from, well, that's a little spicy. Wait a minute, you know, we've always had the spice. Well, okay, you voted out because, you know, the $1 million people don't want spice. But we want to be true to us because we bought it up for our enjoyment. So it's a decision that you got to make when you jump into that arena. If you want to keep it 100 us.
I was just going to piggyback. The problem with this example of, say, the Axe store is the lack of the recycling of black dollars. Yeah, it's a community-based product. We tend to go outside our communities as opposed to appreciating our own.
Yeah.
And I just recently, I don't remember the statistics, but the black dollar recycling is like 1.5 at the most percentage, as opposed to Asian, you say is 13%, and Latino is 22%, white 54%. It's just that part too.
Well, we spend quite a bit of money on anything that's materialistic. That's just like Mom was saying. We buy these things because how do you say it? He said it so eloquently. The chains and all the items is saying, I want to look the part more so than me being the part. I'd rather look it.
Yeah.
So to show you that I'm doing well, I need to have this brand. And society says that's the best product, and that's what I'm going to go with. I think our product's probably just as good as theirs, but we haven't been approved by, or we haven't been accepted by the echelon group at the top and say, oh, food is right there with Versace. So, okay, when we look at it like, but you know, I gotta have Gucci because that's the status quo. So they're not going to buy our hat because it doesn't say Laker. We don't own Laker. We don't own Adidas. Even though just now, this is my first time I've actually owned. Just now, this year, I decided to buy a product that doesn't have my name on it. Everything in my closet says PowerBliss that I bought off of somewhere, and I got my logo on it. But I wanted to treat myself because as a kid, I never had Adidas. I never had Puma. You say, where my brothers go. But he was dressed up, but I never had designer anything. So I decided to treat myself and said, okay, I want to see how I look. And you know what? I look pretty damn good in an Adidas sweatsuit. So I said, okay, I kind of like it. But that's as far as I want to go. All my Nike shirts, because I like the way it's made, I put their small brand, but mine's bigger. It's bigger. I'm bigger than the swirl. So if you, next time you see me again, you'll probably see the Sprite, but you'll see a PowerBliss logo on Adidas pants. That's what I'll do. That's just because my brand, I'm always representing myself, but I want a product that's good. And I can't find a manufacturer to make my own. And I'm not interested, again, in going in that arena of business. I don't want to take a chance of everyone wants to have a fashion. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to jeopardize what it would take for me to take my finances to get into a media just because I think my logo is dope. I think people will wear it, and I got to come up with $300,000 to be able to manufacture it, and then no one buy it, but still I owe, and I got a whole house full of clothes that no one wants, and I'm still stuck with it. So that's why I'm like, I got to stop chasing the dream of business after business. I'm a new business, volunteering. Well, somewhat volunteering, you know. I give my time, my energy, and my knowledge to those that benefit someone else. And that's what I do now. So that's the reason why circulating it, it's hard to bring a new hat that's different when our mindset of our community wants what they've seen on television. That's what they think is good. So our hats aren't good enough. Crenshaw's a great hat. Nipsey Hussle got a great product that like coming down the line. But you know, it didn't come to fruition for the powers that may be that started that. You know.
Is there anyone in here tonight that has questions on starting their own business that you can ask them, as far as your EINs or your legal matters on getting started, or ask him how he got started, what it took for him to get his business off the ground for us to keep it afloat?
Me, I would be first to just say congratulations on the hard work. But that man has to take a lot of grind. You say, you know, you was a square, you know, when you was a youngster, you know, but to me, you was a knowledgeable young man, way beyond those at that time. You know what I mean? So for you to be at this point right now, seems like that's what it should be, facts. That's, you know. So all we can do right now is learn.
That's the whole purpose of having him here tonight. I understand that sometimes we don't recycle our dollars the way we should. I mean, we can just go look at the nail shops and the swap meets all day. But
Weed shops too.
the only thing, man, it's just us. You can't force them. But one thing you can do is learn. If you don't do nothing, learn for yourself. And this man has taught himself, like you said, he was ahead of his time, 12 years old. I'm like, I can barely even pronounce the name entrepreneur. Like, wait a minute, okay, what's that? But he never lost focus. So if there's anybody who has that type of mindset in here, please soak his brain. Because like I said, not only did he start before the recession, but he survived through the recession and a pandemic by himself. Everyone in you, I don't care, even if it's a stimulus check, you don't want your check late, right? Somebody gotta pay the bills. Somebody gotta generate that income. Because when we all go to sleep at night after work, and I don't care if it's Target, Walmart, or wherever, you go to bed, you know when you're supposed to get paid, you want that money. But entrepreneurs, the man behind the scenes playing a puppet master. Okay, oh, you owe me, I gotta pay you, I gotta bill you, I need this invoice, I need to contact the IRS in order to stay afloat, in order to take care of each and every family member here. A lot of times, it's people you don't even know. You'll never even see the business owner. He's somewhere out on a yacht, jet skiing somewhere, but he got secretaries, he's got people that have been there long, just like this gentleman, that have made sure that you get what you need. Even in second call, we got a man sitting here, quiet as can be.
Wow, that's right.
But he makes sure everybody's doing this little thing. He might wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Ain't that right, Mr. Rambo? But he'll call, hey man, did you do this? Like, what are you doing? Don't worry about it. There's a lot to be learned in here, and I brought this gentleman because I'm proud of him. There was a time in my life I never thought I would say, okay, I hope I know the owner of this business. I want to go, no, I grew up with him. I know his mother. Beautiful lady. Please feed them, because I can preach and to the choir all day about join the union. The union's already is already established. Been established since 1847, if I'm not mistaken. This man has been established 20 years out of my life that I know personally. I've watched. So please feel free to ask him whatever. Because once he leaves, I mean, I ain't gonna say he's gone, but he's got his course and all that. But please soak up this knowledge, because this is the whole point of giving back to the community. This man has established himself. He's taking time out. Time is money. He's taking time out of his life to donate for all of us here to learn. So please feel free to ask questions.
LA.
Can you please explain the importance of a proper business plan / proposal?
Okay. Give me a plan that you got in mind.
Let's just say I want to be a designer, a hat designer.
Hat design. Okay. First plan you want to figure out is who is going to make your hat. It's easier these days because now technology is much easier to be able to find someone. You may not make as much money in the beginning because you're going to be paying someone full value of a hat before you want to invest in large quantities. So, but it gives you an opportunity to make relationships with others in the hat industry.
Okay, let me flip it a little bit. What if I want like a retail space where I sell already established brands?
You got to be more specific. Remember, the more specific you are in anything, the easier it is to kind of walk you through it. That's kind of generic. Like
Nike, Adidas, Puma, apparel.
Okay. So now those companies, you need to go in there with a budget to be able to buy a large quantity of their product.
What's the largest quantity?
Well, that's all about what you negotiate with. How well you sell yourself. Don't know what that is unless how well you come in there and they might think that you got a location, you got a swagger that they like, and they give you something. You know, it could kind of go either or. But we've already seen how that works. There's other areas of business that you can probably do that's more lucrative because that's already established and pretty much your margin is already set. They already know, hey, we sell millions of these a year, why should I give you a penny more? And plus, that penny, you need to sell 15,000 of them a month. And then you're chained to that commitment. So let me give an example that might be a different. Let me give a business idea that sounds cool. Anybody know what this is?
This is hard.
Oh, now, back in 19, I don't know if you've seen this, when I did this, but back in 1995, I took my business card and I made this thing called a Who You card. I should have went ahead and moved on with this idea. Who you is the short way of saying, who is you? That was my thing. You give your business card, you say, well, I don't have a business card. Well, turn it over and give me your information and give it back to me. So I can know who you are. 1994. Have you seen this? What is this?
That's business card.
Digital business card. I now sell this product. It's not mine, it's someone else. This is me piggybacking on like, but it's new industry, so that means that the dollar amount of selling it is very low. I'll charge everyone $20 to print it for them, do the design for them, and design the digital part of it and make $20 per person who wants me to do it because they don't want to do it. It only going to cost you $1.50. That's more of a profit than the Adidas apparel you just saw.
Well, I mentioned that before, but
So now, could you imagine if I would have stuck to this idea? I got this because everything I've ever thought of, I still keep. This is my product. You can tell how cheesy it was back then when I printed this. But my Who You card is now going to be the most popular business card that I missed out on, being the owner and the design of the new business cards. So whatever the idea is, get away from what we are just shortchanging our vision of, oh, okay, apparel. You know, P. Diddy's done it. You know, they're making it, but they're in a different echelon. Create your own lane. Opportunity was the thing I mentioned. This is an opportunity. Half of everyone who wants to have a business is going to have a business card, but who's going to want to carry around a business card anymore? They're not doing it. So every person on the block that you live next to that don't have it, you just go in there and say, hey, I'll design it for you. The company's already got it in patent, and I'm giving you an opportunity to have your own entrepreneur, something that I'm already doing too, and I don't care you. But this, anyone can afford $20, $15, $10. It's only going to take you 15, 20 minutes to do it. Now you've just become an entrepreneur. Your overhead value of what it costs to do this is already in place. You just taking out that the person just doesn't want to do it. I don't want to sit at my computer and design this card and to put my thing together. I just want you to do it and give it to me and then done. Here's my $20. If you get 20 people to do that for you, there's your job. There's your entrepreneurship. There's your opportunity to say I can get it when I want to, and then next you know when the word gets around from this idea. That's what I mean about getting away from the hats. That's already been done. I want to design something. I want to, what creative thing does a need? People, this day and time, people don't want to do anything. They're very lazy. So if you don't mind sweating, walk their dogs. I couldn't believe how much money it is. I do Airbnb. My property, I have an Airbnb. I make ridiculous money doing Airbnb. It's paid my house off ridiculous times over and over. With Airbnb, it's something that I don't have to do anything. All I got to do is, hello, you want some more soap? There's my entrepreneur. What's my overhead? 3% of how much their website brings me. I got to give them 3%. There's my entrepreneurship. Didn't have to start from scratch. It's already there. There's another business. Uber, Lyft, Turo, all my cars are rented. You want to rent my Mustang? Feel free to go online and look what you have for the weekend. They cruising down Hollywood Boulevard in a Mustang. It's okay. And when they break down, I just fix it. Someone tear it up, I just fix it. What's the difference? It's part of business. You're always going to have a bad review sometimes. Someone's going to tear up something. But these are the opportunities that you look outside of what's already been done. Find something new. Opportunities for what entrepreneurship is now. What opportunities are out there that you can create a lane for yourself. But charge for an electric car. Pick up birds on the corner. I can't believe how much money you can do picking up birds. You make a lot of money, bro. I mean, it's ridiculous. Question?
Hey, I wanted to become a community activist against gang violence. So I started hanging around activists, Reverend Al Sharpton, Minister Tony Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, anybody that was an activist. There's a lot of activists out here. So I would follow them, or I watch the news. Kid got shot, he's over at Martin Luther King Hospital. I go to Martin Luther King Hospital. Now, I see what the activists do, see how they protest and stuff. I wanted to become an activist. So I tell kids a lot, if you want to be a prostitute, hang around prostitutes. If you want to rob banks, hang around bank robbers. You know, They want to be a pickpocket, hang around pickpockets. So I started hanging around activists, and I became a well-known activist in Los Angeles and other city as a blood that's bringing Crips and Bloods together on a peaceful thing. So I wasn't getting paid because everything I did was volunteer, and I created something that I started for myself. That I figured out the way that I could open up a lot of doors for myself is that I would go and volunteer. I go down south to the museum. I'm always down there at the black football game, so I stopped by the museum and they said, hey, my people live down here in Mississippi, Jackson State. I'm here every summer. I'm a retired veteran. Could I volunteer? They said, sure. So I started volunteering. Those was my short-term goals, by the way. My short-term goals was volunteering, open up a lot of doors for myself. After I was volunteering, they liked me and everything, and then I volunteered. They said, we want you to volunteer when Martin Luther King got killed in Memphis at that museum. So I went down there and volunteered. Those are my short-term goals. So what my long-term goals is to get at least 12 families with their kids, chaperones or whatever, from my church, and we could bring the kids to the black museums and they can learn about the history where they come from. So I'm walking the walk right now. Now, the things I do, I don't get paid for. I don't want to get paid for because I get my retirement check from the Army, and I get my retirement check from Kaiser Hospital, and I get my Social Security. So that sustains me right there. Things I love doing, I don't want to get paid for. I'll show you a perfect example. A grant came through the West Adams community. These are the Rolling 20s over here, and their shot call at the time was Mad Mountain. He had won an award at the African Museum and Exposition for keeping peace. And the sheriff department, all these people that get these re-entry back into a society, they have these big grants. They said, Khalid Shaw from South Vitus increase of peace. He walked us up to the parking lot. He said, Ronald, you guys over in West Adams, get ready because this grant gonna come through. And when they break this money up, something is coming through the West Adams community. I said, man, Ronald, you heard what he said. You got a farmer group. Give it in there. Concerned fathers. Get your 5013C. Oh no, brother, let you go down to all records with us. I said, no. I don't want my name on more money. Excuse me, everybody. I said, you niggas ain't got me going to jail. Because when this money come in, I know how my soldiers are. They'll be riding around in Cadillacs. I know. I don't want my name on more money because, like I said, I'm doing this to volunteer. The grant came through. I'm in Mississippi, volunteer museum. Shaw called me around 7 times. It's a Shaw from South Vitus and Piece of Pizza in Inglewood. Called Shaw, what's going on? Hey, the grant came through. I said, Shaw, they never got their 5013C. And they don't trust First AME. See, so Mary and them, they didn't trust them, even though that's in their hood off of Haldale. He said, well, what you want me to do with the grant? I said, donate it to the museum down here. What's wrong with that? Because my name wasn't, I wasn't gonna get it. I don't want to touch no money. So he said, that's a great idea. So I talked to the director there. She called all her staff together and said, well, in London, they got a grant in the West Adams community, and they want to donate it to the museum. Those gang members, why you do that? Why you donate our money? I said, that money ain't your money. You don't even have your nonprofit number. Would you think they're gonna come and like give you $500,000 so you niggas can go out and buy guns and leave? I'm sorry for calling them that, but that's how they are. They don't really want. They don't stop doing what they're doing. They're in the war with 18th Street. They're in the war with this and that. So they think that somebody is going to come or give it to me. They want to use me as a pawn. Okay, he ain't got no police record, eventual army and everything. And let him get the 5013C. And then I give, they come and skip a lot of times for money. They try to make that whole skip up a lot of times. So what I'm saying, sir, the stuff that I'm doing as a community activist, my goal is I could get the grants and I could help the people, show them how to get the grants, and they can get the grass out of whatever kind of event that they're giving. My thing is I like to take the kids to down south and to the museums and everything's paid for, like they housing, we got flying down there, we got to put them in nice hotels, not motel 6 or 8 or whatever, but I'm not getting no reward. My reward is helping them. Much damage I've done in the community, that's how I want to give back. So, but I'm not being an entrepreneur. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not getting rich off of it. So, what do you think? The way I'm headed.
Well, if you're going to be, well, that's not an entrepreneur. One thing you definitely said that's true. Entrepreneur is not in business to donate. We're in to make money. That's the reason why we're taxed the way that we are. So if your question is saying, how can I be an activist and make a career out of it, that's one thing. But if you're just volunteering, then you're doing everything that you should be doing.
Yes.
But I still would go ahead and get that 501c and then have that money come to you. Because most likely you probably would manage the money the right way because you're in a good headspace. You would be honorable with that money to make sure it's dealt accordingly. Don't be fearful of because you have a large sum of money. And, only you know yourself. But you can still take that and then have it used the way you see fit for the projects that you want to do. So proceed with that. That's
And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Maybe I got a little lazy because I went to community. They show you how to run a business. You have to have a board, a governor board. You have to have.
You're moving too far ahead. That's that's old way of business. I ain't saying that it still doesn't work. You're doing big things when you need that. When you become a corporation, yes, you need board of directors. If you can be a corporation. I'm a corporation. I'm only one entity, and you only need 2 people with 2 different names to be able to be a corporation. Yourself and a treasurer, which is just somebody different than you, and everyone else could be nobody. And you official to a corporation is another human being. When I first started, remember my baby? PowerBliss is my baby. PowerBliss takes care of me. That's the reason why I work for PowerBliss. So keep it simple. All the big words and things that they throw at you. Oh my gosh, it's got so much to do. There's a lot, but it's simple mathematics. I make $10. I know I owe 2 of those dollars to the man. Let's just say to the man. If you keep that in mind as you're making money, then when the end of the year comes around, okay, 100K, I got 20K I owe the man. If you couldn't figure out how to spend, let's just go over math right now. This might make it fun. Let's go over the numbers. Deshun Allen makes $20,000 a year. That's what I make. I've been making that for 20 plus years. PowerBliss, on the other hand, has been making 100K for a long time. I don't need to show a lot of money. I don't want to be in dealing with the tax arena when you get 150 or 250 more. You got to deal with a whole different tax issues. So why do I want to do that? I'm not a person to feel like I need to have abundance of money. I don't. I like to be able to just wake up and say I got to get up till 10 o'clock every day. That's enough freedom for me than to say, okay, I got to make another $1 million this week. That's not me. But is that you? Do you need to make that kind of money to make you feel like you are content? Sam, let me ask you. Because you're in my own, put it on the spot. Sam, how much, just making fun of it. Sam, how much, if we came to your standard of life, what would you feel like, okay, I think I'm comfortable that I can ease off of my grind? How much?
Day or a year?
Monthly. Let's go monthly, then we equate. Everyone keep in mind, whenever you're figuring out your finances is on a 12-month basis.
A month? About 4.
So $4,000 a month times 12,
48.
there you go. So if you can do that, you do that now, don't you? He's already in the standard life. Do you ever get up early in the morning? You know what he didn't do is that he didn't figure out why am I working these long hours? What am I doing that long hours for?
You said that for the wrong person right now, okay?
Change, baby. Change.
If you don't mind,
So I'm just saying these are examples that if that was your number, what are the tangibles that you want to where you really be taking that $4K a month to just live the life that you want? You ain't gotta do nothing. What you make $46,000 a year, right? What did I use that money for? That would give me the comfort in my lifestyle.
I'm just getting to that point, and I'm trying to really even more now. Really just housing. I got a car, I got a career, I just my own spots I get my little toys. Instead of renting in an apartment. I just want a house with a low riders and jet ski.
Now, if he would have said that at the same time I said it, you would already have it. At $40K a year, you'd have had it already. Because that's what I did. I just knew what I wanted, and I didn't. The van's out there, but I could have drove the other ones up here too. I went and got it and I said, okay, now I don't have to work anymore. So all now you have to do is figure out that. And then say, how long do I want to work to get that? You should be able to do that in 4 years. What he just said. 4 years, buy the house, at least pay half of it off, and the next you know, I only have to work part-time instead of full-time. And he's done. And then by the time I can put your age out there. But by the time 5 years from now, he should then be able to say, you know what, Skip, bro? Call me up, man. I'll come and help the guys out, but you know what, I'm chilling. I ain't gotta come in. You know why? Because you can't take my house. You can't take my cars. You know, you can't take my baby girl out on vacations because I don't have to come in. Another example. What would be your comfort of earning income to make sure that it's done, hair is done? This is what I tell the ladies. I gotta give them an idea. You know what? You do deserve to get your hair done every month, right?
Right.
And get your nails done too, right?
Right.
Okay, man. So that's an expense that should never fall short, ever. I don't care if you lose your job. I'm still having it's done until my next job comes along. This is where the simple standard of life has to be figured out. Do not live without these luxuries because you work hard and you should be proud of yourself. So that is part of automatic. When you're fired, it's automatic. When you don't have a job next week, it's automatic. Because you should have been, when you were working, put in necessary, okay, my car note is taken care of, I got 6 months of that. My house note is taken care of this while ever I'm doing my entrepreneurship. Or if you're just being a person who's employed, it's the same thing. I don't wait till when you go on vacation 2 weeks out of the year. Bro, don't pay me. Just make sure I keep my job, but you ain't gotta pay me.
Right.
I'm sick, don't pay me because I took care of your mortgage, gas, kids and stuff and all that stuff, and I'm gone. I need to replenish. So what would that number be for you, money? Queen.
Monthly or
Monthly. Then we'll equate to the yearly part so you can kind of see what the number looks like.
5 or 6.
Pick one number.
5.
5. So $5,000 a month times 4. What's that number? $60,000 a year. So that's the price of a car. Brand new car, $60,000, right? Now, why would you pay 5 years on a car when you already making $60,000 a year? Because how much to make $5,000 in 60 days or 120 hours? That what you say? I got the numbers wrong. But how many hourly would you make to make $5,000 a month?
About 40, 30.
This shit's my math is out. But let's just get this number together so we can actually see how easy the number part is. We gotta know the numbers make sense to you so you can actually calculate this one.
You said $5 grand, so that's $12.50 a week.
Yeah, so 5,000 divided by
27.
that's every 2 weeks, right?
$12.50 a week.
8 hours.
2,500. 2,500. 5 is 10.
So 160 divided by, like you said, right? What was it again, Genius? That's
You said a month?
yeah, we're trying to get the hourly rate. I want you to see how.
160 divided by 5,000.
Yes, thank you.
27
I need a pop, please.
Only go like $27.
50, 60 bucks an hour.
I got my calculator. So that's $32, that's $30 an hour. So $30 an hour, you could actually live the lifestyle you just said. If you decided not to be an entrepreneur, you're just working a 9-to-5 job. Can you find a job in California that comes close to $30 an hour? Costco pays you.
I can find one.
Yeah,
Plenty of them, but
Plenty of them.
the thing is, I don't know what, you gotta explain to me what you doing with this money, cause I'm making that for my whole career, way over there, and I'm not, you know, what
Now,
There we go.
am I doing? What am I doing?
There we go.
that's what I'm getting at.
What did he say? What did he say?
He says he's making that money right now,
Right?
but he's not where you think he should be at, right?
Or he
That's
was
how you're
saying,
thinking?
You named a lot of things, and I don't see where
Where it's going?
where that money, where that type of money could take you that far. You know, I mean, like,
Go back
for
to
me,
lifestyle.
I think you need $30 an hour just to have an apartment, you know what I mean?
Well, and this
Just
damn
to
time
have an apartment, you know, so, you buy homes and not working anymore, like, hell.
But that's nowadays. You gotta think this man started over 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
He had the ball rolling.
But let's break it down. Let's answer that question. Let's answer that question. Now, your standard of life. Now we equate. Let's just say how much rent is right now. It's $2,000.
2000.
2,000. So out of the 5, 40% of that is on this when you're.
Here's my real estate.
So now you're starting to see. We're just giving a number out. It's $2,000 saying nothing. So if we got 5 grand, we're gonna stay with that. We're gonna deduct. We all agree with $2,000.
That leaves you free.
So now you got 3,000. Now I don't know if everyone's got a car note. Got car notes or
Well,
no?
see, my thing is, I think a lot of it has to do with debt. And I'm trying to teach my daughter that right now.
First of all, and I want this where the hard love come in. You got to teach yourself before you teach her. So let's
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
So let's go before getting into debt, because the only reason why you got debt is because you didn't use the 5. I don't know if you're making 5,000, but you didn't say I'm making this amount. Why am I buying something that I probably shouldn't have right now? Yeah, that's just one of the things.
Well, see, with me, I'm not a materialistic person. I've never been that way, and I guess because I didn't have it as a kid. So my parents weren't those that had the money to do those fancy things. So, you know, I buy a pair of Nike and I wear the same pair for 2 or 3 years, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't faze me. But like I said, my thing is, I lost my train of thought, but most of it is getting credit cards, and the things that I'm buying is the things that I need for me at that moment when I don't have the money.
Okay.
You know, I guess that's what I'm saying. Because like I said, I'm not materialistic. Like I have a cousin that parties every weekend. Every time she goes out, she has to buy a new outfit from head to toe. And I'm just like, really?
But she's not here to defend herself. We're talking about Queen. We're talking about Queen.
Yeah,
Let's
but
stay
I'm
on
just
Queen.
saying that's
Okay. We're gonna go around this room and have a good time. But the whole thing is that we're gonna put the mirror on you and make you look at yourself and kind of say, "Oh dang, that's how I've been managing my money." Because the beginning of this whole thing when I started was, you gotta govern. Your credit card becomes a person that you elected to govern your spending habits.
Right.
That was your choice.
Right.
So now we're going to make you look at yourself and say, okay, before I can get to what I simplified it by saying, oh, you made 5,000, you do this. I simplified it because I took out the elephant in the room. Well, I've already made these debts to make it difficult for me to do what you're saying because of this. But there's a way of getting there. It just needs time. Remember, the next phase of your standard is saying how long it takes for me to get there. You got to figure that part out. And that's where your hard work time starts. By simplifying $5,000 is what I want to make. You make that determination. I want to make 5,000. Whatever you do, whatever job you want to do, whatever entrepreneurship, you need to make $5,000 a month. That's your job. And then once you get that, then now we're going to crunch those numbers. Okay, $2,000 rent is one thing. Now, the debt ratio. Okay, I got 5 credit cards, it might be $15,000. that's gotta be $500 to $700 a month commitment
Right.
on those cars, so you can see the benefit of it 7 months down the line. That's your commitment. That means you can't eat out, and since you don't like all the luxury things, that stuff's gotta go until you get there. Just pay your rent and woo woo, you get the kids baby, mom's doing this. You know how free it's gonna be once you say,
And that's what
that's what you want,
my-
right? Okay, so now, the reason why I'm putting these numbers here, we'll go back to the number game just a little bit, so you can kind of see, damn, I could have been doing that a long time ago, because that's what I'm making. We got $3,000 a month that you can spend on whatever it is. What would you be doing with this $3,000 with the credit cards, with the electric bill, the gas bill, the car note, and all this stuff? You got $3,000, the rent's covered now. How would you handle this $3K? That's what you want. You know what that is. I ain't got to share with us. But you seeing where this is, it seems like a pretty reasonable amount of money just sitting on the table. But it's easy once you eat out every day. I can't believe how much Starbucks at $10 and you do that 5 times a week. How much that equates to when you look at what it is at the end of 30 days, what you just spent.
200.
$200. She knows it's easy. So these are the things. Now, a little bit of discipline. Sometimes entrepreneurship is just your standard of life. Being entrepreneurship of just the regular finances that you get off your day-to-day work. Be an entrepreneur on that. How can I be a good life job and manage my money so I don't have to work hard when I decide I don't want to work here that many hours anymore?
I believe the technical field has helped you a little bit as well, Deshun, because you cut corners that the average person doesn't. And I'm gonna say something real quick and small. By a show of hands, who in here pays a cell phone bill?
I paid some.
Not for years.
I haven't heard this because once I got
So that's one of the things that he's saying, the things that you, some of y'all laughing, but this is where I've known this man to know where he cuts corners in order to make that extra money a reality. I know exactly what you're saying, because the next, the new 100,000 is the new 50 to me. You can make $100,000, but it equates to 50 with the inflation and the way things are going nowadays. And not mentioning the IRS, the tax deductibles. You make 50, you really only make like 15 or take home 15. But where this man, he ain't paying $100 a month for a cell phone bill. You multiply 100 times 12, that's $1,200 he's saving in a year.
He ain't paying no bill for cell phone, right?
No, he might do it now, but I know he's hitting.
No.
Wow.
He said that was his first
And his lifestyle, the way that he put everything in.
Yeah.
Some people may say, man, he kind of tight.
Yeah.
He'll look at you as being frivolous. He also mentioned he don't wear certain things. You don't see him with guests.
Yeah.
You don't see him with.
Those are his first Adidas.
He might wear Nike just for a pair of Adidas.
That's why it's so crazy. Oh, please, bro. I know. I've never had to wear corduroy karate. When was I was a kid?
That's right.
That's what I did.
And we'll look at you. You come in. You won't be disrespectful. You can be dressed to the nines for a party he's giving, and he'll look at you like, oh, that's nice. But it's his house. It's his party. You came to see him. He's gotten and been happy. So certain things that please share with him that he does that where you can monopolize the system to your advantage. That's the whole point to me of being an entrepreneur. You don't have to. If you have a home and you have a computer, as long as you don't have living quarters in that portion of your room, that's a tax write-off. Your cell phone bill, since you are paying one, is a tax write-off. Your cable bill, your clothes, tools, transportation,
Yeah.
coming back and forth to these meetings, gas,
Food.
I can sit up here and buy food. It could be my grocery bill, but I can say it was a meeting. You don't know unless you walk into that meeting. Not saying I'm trying to do anything corrupt, I'm just trying to let you guys know. When you're in business for yourself, you're in business for yourself. This man has, like I say, please soak his brain. Because a lot of y'all wouldn't have known that had I not said that. And he ain't gonna say that either.
I would have thought about that. But that's why we tag team. Devious and dazzling in the household. But clearly that is a clear example. You know, we were getting to the part where we came with the 3,000 now. You find out where you cut corners so you can pay off the debts. that you have. And just look forward to what it's gonna look like once there's zero, and then you manage them differently. Because those luxuries should still be there. Then now, a credit card is just a means for me to get good credit. Use your credit cards when it's still zero. Use your credit cards, just make sure that in 20 days you just pay it off. So you don't get charged any interest dollar for dollar.
Yeah, that's what my mom does.
All that you-
She
all that
buys
you-
something and as soon as she gets the bill, she just pays.
Just pay it.
Just pay it.
It's just a nice first habit to do. So commitment, or just do that for a short while. How I cut corners, since the DB has told me, yes. I haven't had a cell phone bill. After once they put that law in there that you get a ticket for talking on your cell phone, I got 2 of them, I got rid of my phone bill. So I just went and got an internet phone. And I paid $99 a year since 2010.
See how much money you saved?
So that's what I spent. Now, what I did also every month, which is my most thriving business, is cable TV. So I invested into the cable networking company to be able to sell cable TV, and I sell it to the black community for $20 a month. And I don't ask for anything other than $20 or $200 a year to cut costs for them. And what I give you is what you have. That's just the technology and where I've been able to offer that. So that's another means people paying almost $80, $100 a month. $20 a month. So I've never, once I was almost offering internet, I was an ISP service provider until the pandemic happened and they wouldn't let me resell it. Because I was doing that for a one set fee for $350 unlimited. But, pandemic took that, the government said you can't let you do it no more because they gave it to the schools. So, we don't have that. But these are examples that black money circulating, because I don't really, like I said, my thing is not about money. I've never been a money person. I just want simplicity and enjoyment of being around my friends that I have and just enjoy life. I don't want a lot of stuff. So that's my standard. I'm trying to get you to think about what your standard is so you can put a cap on it and then make a goal to get there. And once you do that, you then can start taking your foot off the throttle. That's my whole point of this part.
Well, I want to, did you like the young man, did you like his statement about the circulation of the black dollar?
Yes, but that's a community effort. That's a hard thing.
He hit a crucial point right there too.
It's crucial, but you're an activist, so I understand your passion for helping those that might be a little lost in what they're doing. And again, what they think is the dream of having these materialistic things, but I have a $150,000 car and I live at home with mom and I live on the couch. I can't rationalize that, but they think they're doing really well. And how do you change that cycle? I don't know how to do that. I can tell you how to make money, but I don't know how to be encouraging to tell someone you need to think differently. It's when they finally realize they want to do that. But it seems in this area, and we started here by living by an example. Sam got me here as an example to just show that, yeah, I'm a simple guy, but I wouldn't want you to do exactly what I did, but probably my method of how I got here could be useful for you to use it for your own, to make a change to where you can start enjoying the fruits of your labor in your time frame.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do, is to give you that encouragement.
And I think Nipsey Hussle was on a good road. He's going down a good road. He opened up some businesses over in the Crenshaw area, and gave some jobs. And it's unfortunately what happened.
Yeah. The thing is, and no disrespect to Nipsey Hussle and those that are in the past, I always want to talk about what we're going to do. Unfortunately, he could have made a lot of changes, but I really think that the community and those that didn't want to see what he was doing fruition come to pass, and then we accepted it. As an activist, I think we should be fighting for definitely holding someone accountable for that, because I think he could have changed a whole lot of lives. But now, what are we going to do? I mean, we just need to know how to manage our money. Just here. So we can actually say, hey, we're gonna have a community outreach at the park, and we ain't gotta be concerned about who's bringing the hot dogs and buns. You know, every week. You know, doing what Sam's doing here, bringing us here. This room should be filled with everyone learning how to, you know, get a standard of life so we can stay here. I don't want to be the only few black people who still live in Los Angeles after this gentrification that they're trying to push on us, because everyone is afraid that they think that they can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's hard, but if we change our spending habits, let's stay here, let them pay for all this stuff, and we be here. I don't want my hair to be with a whole bunch of Caucasians. That's all I'm saying. I really don't want that. But clearly, we have to work together, and don't feel ashamed of where you are. It's about where you're going. What are you going to do in the next 6 months, next 12 months, small steps to get there, and stay encouraged to do that. I want to ask you, and I want to ask you, sir, because you two haven't spoken. So, what is your standard of life idea? What does it look like?
Better. I'm always trying to do better.
Well, what is better? I don't even know what worse is because you ain't been specific.
Better would be probably a ranch house in San Bernardino, and probably a couple of houses in the inner city area, and maybe
I'm gonna pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Standard life is being, I ain't gonna say it's not possible. I don't want you to think I'm stepping on one's dreams. Because it's fine to dream, but let's be realistic at where we are in our lives. And do you have a plan to actually be able to execute that?
yes.
Can't we just say, I want a place that I could be in a community that I want to be in? And then
Let's start somewhere.
yeah, let's be realistic in starting somewhere that you realistically say, I can make an effort towards right now, and I could possibly almost accomplish that in 12 months.
Like,
23.
a ranch,
Okay. What do you do for a living?
hustle.
Okay. So how many taxes do you pay on the hustle?
How many what taxes?
What taxes do you
What's
pay on the
that? What's
hustle?
that?
Huh?
What's that?
Tax, you know what that is? Ooh. I don't think you were here, I don't think he came in after the governing part that we started here about the entrepreneurship and how you're governing on how your money is being made.
I mean, I've always considered myself an entrepreneur since I was a younger guy like you, like yourself.
Right?
I just didn't, I took a couple wrong turns, and really actually just one wrong turn, and it kind of like did some major setback type reactions.
You look exactly like me because I made a one wrong turn and I was able to come out of it good, so I'm assuming you came out of it good now. So what are we going to do now? And if you want to know about it, I'd be more than happy to share with you, but since we got the spotlight on you,
Well, basically, get that first time buyers home loan,
okay.
and man, swing in action on getting a nice, not necessarily a fixer upper, but preferably a nice ranch house or something.
Do you want to own it or you just want to start flipping it?
Of course, I want to own it. Yes, I want to own it. Absolutely.
How long do you want to stay in this business of being a flipper? How much is you your term?
Maybe about 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years. Will that put you in an age to where you're ready to not work as hard to flipping?
Absolutely. I feel it will because I have a lot of friends that basically make their millions off real estate.
So you got millionaire friends.
Yes.
Okay. So then you're in the right circle to actually make it all happen. Because it's all about who you are affiliated, associated with.
Right.
If they're doing millions, that means they're going to teach you how to make millions.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly. Okay. So we'll be able to have the next meeting next year at one of the spots.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying that to be, don't think that I'm doing that because we got to be held accountable because we want to be successful.
Right.
And if you put it out there, if we love you, we're going to hold you to what you're saying.
Right.
And if you don't, we're going to not down you or not be encouraging. We're going to ask, what went right, what went wrong, how can I do that? So you can sit here and tell us how to do what you did
Exactly.
in 12 months.
12 months.
like middle class. I think I need to be making $6,000 to $7,000 a month.
Pick one number.
7.
7. Always be, because you're gonna hold yourself to the fire to the number that you put. That's what you want to keep saying. The exact number. 7.
I want to start working by 60. I'm 43 right now.
Okay.
I'm good at a lot of things, so I really don't have a real passion to one thing. So that's kind of a hinder for me, because I can do so many things, right? But there is something that I am thinking about doing, which is launching a coloring line, just mixing colors. It's done, but the way that I actually mix my own hair color. So I think if I know about the franchise category things, like the 503A. I think I put a cap to do it next year.
Next year.
So that will be within 12 months.
In 12 months before you launch? Or
Well, I mean, I could kind of launch now. I kind of just haven't really, I've been engaged in doing a lot of other things, so I haven't really put forth the effort to really do that for myself.
okay.
But I mean, if I had to pick something to do in 12 months, I think that I can do that. But,
Well, now that you have, since what makes you a benefit here is that you already know what you want to do. Number one. You want to do the color thing. Sounds amazing. Sounds like a great idea. How do you want to present that to where you can start earning off of it? Before you can go corporated or LLC and all that stuff, don't worry about that. First of all, find out, do people want to pay for what you're offering?
well, they're already doing it.
Okay, so now you got a foundation.
I work at their salon.
Okay, so you already foot in the door. You see, planning, now you use that as a stepping stone, but how do you take the next level to where you are going to branch out to whatever your vision is? You ain't got to present it all to us just now, but now what is the next phase? Now this is the jump part to where you're going to really, it's me,
Right.
go, and you're going to have to commit yourself. All those other ideas, just set them to the side for a moment. Give yourself 3 months of 100% working the job and then doing the hair color. And then find out, am I making the same amount as the hair salon? If you're doing that, you gotta jump.
That's a good projection.
You gotta jump. I left Walt Disney when I had my first 2 contracts on my own. I said, okay, I hate it here. I love computers, but they keep wanting me to be here all the time, and I can't sit under my desk when I'm tired. They won't let me do it. And I don't want to wear a suit and tie. I had a problem with it. So I said, okay, I took all their contracts. I used to go into my manager's office and see the contracts. I cut and pasted, change all Disney names to PowerBliss. And then when I go to people, it looked like I was all professional and whatnot. And I got a contract, and I got another contract, and I said, okay, I did the work. I got fired a few times, but I felt comfortable enough that, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out on my own. And that's what you have to do. 3 months. You know you can go back to the salon if you have to.
But that's the thing. It's an entrepreneurship here. It's an entrepreneurship there. I don't punch a clock. I don't have check stubs. I get up and I kind of free.
Right.
It's really confusing for me right now.
You're doing actually great, because still, okay, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, because still, I have a job at my church. They employ me I handle the AME multimedia for the AME churches, the media ministry director. For today's Fresh Start School, I'm the charter school, I'm the IT coordinator for their school districts. So I'm still doing that job, even though I'm still got my own business. I still have a job like you, or at the salon in comparison. But I still have my own things, which is PowerBliss TV, web designing and so forth on the side. So you can still do that because I like money and I like doing something. Because I don't want to be totally retired. So you can do the same thing. But I think the point of when you're saying that I have a whole bunch of things I can do is kind of narrow down to see how successful your business while still loving to do hair. So your standard of life can come sooner. Because we didn't talk about that while you went into the entrepreneurship, but when do you want to not work so hard? Or that $5,000 automatic, that you're making. Or because I'm sure the hair coloring probably could be something that will then take care of you to where if you don't want to do hair, someone else could be manufacturing your hair color to where you are then just, did the color come in? That's what a rich person is thinking, what you're going past the mindset of a middle class thinker, which I've been for the longest. That's when you get into that arena. So 3 months, see what you feel about it.
Thank you.
Great idea. Anybody else want to share their ideas or just to encourage you?
I had a question. Like, she had a very specific goal. What would be a business plan / model for that specific idea to gain capital?
She has come back and helped me explain what it is. I know.
All right, and I got a question. Offsetting on the cards.
Yeah.
A paper card with QR code, is that outdated?
QR code's right there.
As opposed to the digital,
Same thing. QR code is basically
same cost?
Same thing. A QR code, you can buy these stickers for like 10 cents.
Right.
For this. This is the company because I was trying to figure out how I would market this to my clients. And I'm not looking at companies. I'm looking at people that are hustling. That bro right there, he may not have ever thought whenever he got the person said, I want to flip my home, bro, just scan my card, and his entire logo, art houses and everything comes up. He's doing business. But he ain't got time, he's out there marketing. I'm just gonna take $20 of this in 40 minutes of my time to do this for him, give it to him, and he's content and his business is moving. That's the circulating black business right then and there, but it's a small amount of work. So 20, everyone there does it. I just made $300 and it only took me 4 hours to do it.
So,
Yeah.
first one.
That's what I'm talking about before.
Yeah.
For
So,
this, the digital,
yeah.
when I'm looking at
So that's the reason why then my avenue or my aim was always been, I'm looking for other persons that would do some of the things that I already do, that can take, because I have resources and skill set to say, oh, you can't do that. Well, corporation information is in place right now. I've never had a body of people work for me. I've always did it myself because I don't want to deal with employees. I only want to deal with contracting people, 1099, you do with your taxes. I'm not dealing with it. Never hire anyone full time. So, but now I'm at an age now, I want to give what I do for someone else to do. I don't care if they're young or old, but not. We can do this under one umbrella and work together. And then you take some of the things that I do and I will let you run with it. That's what you say black people coming together do. That's what other people do.
Amen.
So why not? I just ain't never found anyone who takes it. I'll read you a minute like, you ain't gonna do that. I'll test you. Here, bro, here's the card. Bring me 5 people and I'll guarantee I'll design it and I'll get it done the next day. And it'll look professional. Get a receipt, get an invoice and all this stuff. And do security cover. I know I can do that because I've been doing it for several years. Why should you reinvent the wheel when my wheel is already running? Let's work together. I mean, that's where I'm at now. That's an idea, and we build. But that's one entity that we can actually discuss. So when she comes back, we can actually role play on helping her on her idea. Maybe you can roll and paint the color, and you can make the call, and we can come together. Next thing you know, we got a hair coloring company called the Second Call Color. I don't know. But it's just an idea, and all the ideas come together to make something happen.
There it is. That's it.
The gang members, they said, look, big homie, you get the 501c. And I told them, no, you get your own 501c.
They can't do it. You just said the homie don't sound like a person who walk in there and say, I want to open up a business. It just don't sound like it. But why you? Why not you? The big homie, he pointed you out, so it must have been, he felt confident to say, you do it.
Yeah, that's how they got to know me. I had a program called PowerBliss Youth Game Service. And I used to go all around the country and I used to get grants and I get paid for speaking and everything, Bloodhound and a lot of the homies that you know from schoolyards, everybody, we used to go around the country with Jim Brown and we get honorariums. Where like a preacher get an honorarium when he go to a different, so we got honorariums and everything. But see, the homies wanted me to get it, so they'd be cleared of a lot of stuff. Because when you get a grant, you gotta show every penny where that grant money went.
And that's everyone. That's everyone. That's, believe me, y'all got more leisure of being a 501c in a corporation. We gotta write out everything, so it's no different. You just got, it just means you just got different statutes and you ain't gotta pay taxes.
Yeah.
On your overhead, so it's really no different.
So I wanted them, like you say, you already invented the wheel. I wanted them to invent their own wheel. They'll get their own
But they don't know how to do that. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do. They are very smart, man.
Okay, now smart doesn't mean that you know the game. That's all I'm saying. Because if they were smart, none of us would be in a dead situation. If we're all smart. I believe everyone is smart here, but we still got hang-ups that we need encouragement or guidance or ideas on how to make it better. So I'm not saying the homies aren't smart, but you gotta.
Yeah, community partners. That's the name of the program that teach you how to run the program and govern and all that.
I'm not sure when Stella will get back. I don't want to pressure her. But I'm glad you touched bases on that subject. I think that might help her a little bit. But before we close out, I'd like to go around the room counterclockwise from each and every individual in here and find out what did you get out of this talk tonight. Ms. Cat, I'd like to hear from you.
Well, what I took from tonight's class is that in order to start a business, first of all, you gotta be focused. You have to have the mindset to say, this is what I want to do. With that being said, Ms. Stella seems like she's kind of fearful, so my scripture that I stand on all the time is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ. So you gotta take that first step, and there's going to be some bumps in the road, and I believe there's probably like a saying, you're going to lose money before you make money, if I'm not mistaken. So you just have to put yourself out there, and there are some things that I would like to do to be an entrepreneur, but right now I'm going through some other things, and once I clear those things up, then I'll be able to put my business out there for myself. I have my logo, I paid for my logo, I did all of that, so I want to do that, and I think I haven't done it for that one reason. Another reason, I work for the state, and the job that I'm doing, I'm helping the community, the customers, or whatever. So I love what I'm doing. So it's not one of those, oh, I hate my job. I'm helping those that are applying for the Obama funds. So that's what my job is. So that's something that I love, and I don't see myself leaving in no time soon. Or I quit, I'm tired. So, but I am eventually going to get to a point where I want to start my own business. So I learned things, and I don't want to talk. Get your number, because there's a couple of things I want.
I'm on this pass by and just tap it, and you'll see how it works. Yeah, so just go ahead and tap it.
Everybody,
No, it's not.
Feel free.
Brother Zach, tell me, is there anything you gathered tonight or anything that sparked your interest tonight from Mr. Allen?
Honestly, I would say that it's very broad. It's like Caleb, broad man. He gave me a long perspective that I just was not even paying attention to, because number one, being an IT specialist, that's a lot. So it makes me go back and think, as a youngster, when that bug of knowing things was going digital. At that age, to know if I jump into this, I'm gonna be able to grow in this market, and I'm gonna see my nest filled by maybe 5 years or less. There's gonna be enough in that nest right there for me to start whatever I feel like I want to do, or I'm gonna take off for about 3 months for work so I can do this extra gig and stack up on these chips for this 3 months and take that money and build. But that was me. You know, I do it the physical way. So when I had $10,000 on the bed and I counted all this money out, you know, wow, this is how much money I ever made in my life. And it's not coming from the making. It was from the hustle, you know. But I never had a vision of what can I do with this money to instill it in something and make an investment and do the entrepreneur thing. So today, you just turn our glass open. You know, it was a trick. And I've been blown away by your perception, you know, and the knowledge. That's what I got.
Brother Flossie P back there.
Yes.
Go ahead and stand up.
Thanks. I'm just, bottom line, I'm just grateful. Somebody like yourself to come through when you didn't have to and embrace us with this knowledge. It's impressive information that will help us gain generational wealth. I'm very humbled and honored to be in your presence with this knowledge. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Right. Brother Twin.
Well,
You scan the card.
Oh, you see.
You just scan the card.
Oh, Mike,
basically learned that there still are pitfalls and things that you have to be aware of and cautious of, even if you're making a quota, a certain amount of money. You can misappropriate the funds and still be at square zero. And there's certain measures you need to take once you establish the corporation that would be able to avoid all of those inner mishaps that people really overlook. And so I think that was a very,
Ben Homie, I've been seeing you persistent for years. I couldn't tell if it was a pitfall or not, so you're doing all right. All right. Brother Landon.
Thank you for coming, sir. You hit a lot of points. This when you started off. You usually don't see a brother in the hood with his first pair of Adidas. So you've been very disciplined all through your childhood, you know. You know, you was not just spending your money like we were. We had swap meet every weekend or every day. But I like that exercise with Queen, what they were doing. I'm not trying to say you make this much money or not, I don't know. With the $5,000 a month, and then I don't know if it was with you, Queen, or somebody, $5,000 a month, and then he said that the rent was $2,000, so he had that $3,000 left over. Now that $3,000, you have to manage that well. Maybe pay off some of those credit cards or whatever. Do that for about 3 months until you zero balance. And I just like the little exercise y'all can't know. That's what I got out of it. You hit a lot of points. He hit a lot of points about how long the black dollar stays in our community, how long it circulates before it goes out. Another neighborhoods have stayed there for months or whatever. He's been doing a lot of research. But is it all right if I can read this a little something? Because she got a chance to read. We church people up in there. You said church, right? I gotta say a church verse too. This is the 1 Corinthians, and this is like to the ones that I work with, the young people members that I work with. I let them know how they are in the Bible. This is what God said in 1 Corinthians 1:27. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. So I just let these kids know, hey, you can do it. You know, if Missy done it, you can do it. You know, you be the next Missy or the next entrepreneur. And so I really enjoy this class. I thank you for bringing them. I never met a brother with his first pair of knees.
Hey, discipline, for real. Your discipline as a grown man. Sister Stella.
Okay, more out from this, is that I am in the right direction, but I appreciate you letting, help me. Like, I'm gonna, put the effort to do it more. I appreciate Jason, I'm bringing my bug, my bug is in between us, on the wrong side, but that's not what we're doing today. It's like a whole nother cycles of life that I have to address. Like, I have so much work to do. Like, you know what I mean? I'm 43 and I'm it seems like I'm 18. I start all over again. So I just appreciate the time. I appreciate Thursdays.
Well, you didn't introduce yourself when you came in, young lady. If you don't mind, like to introduce yourself. Tell us how you feel.
Hello,
What you got on
I'm
us.
Sean's mom. Yeah.
You never been next to it.
Well, you really got it from me. That's what I said. Okay. One thing I appreciate about my son, he is a hard worker. And what he set his goal, he goes for it. And I used to say, why take a break? No, I gotta work. He's there morning, evening, night, working. And I was the same way. I was a florist, a party planner, and a designer. This young man has helped me. I may not have the means, but I get anything I want. I started first, like you said, you have people who support you, but don't give up. Follow your dream. Do something you really like. Like him, he does something he really likes. To get where he wanted to go, he had to work by himself. That's how he got there. Don't give up your dream, but find something you really like. So when you fall down, you'll get right back up. Because that's where I was with my course. I love flowers. You know what? I decorate a house every year. This lady pays me $500 for 3 hours. I'm not working hard. It's something I love. So once he said, you find something you like, don't give up on it. Put your all in. You're going to have ups and downs. But now you have the scripture, you have that one, I got one. Romans 12:2, be ye transformed not by this one, but by the renewing of this. Your mind. Once you change your mind, that's what he did. He had a goal set, and he just stopped till he reached there. And I am so proud of him. And I'm learning from him. Older than I am, I'm still learning from him. I can't do computers. I said, I don't understand. He gets frustrated with me, but he still shows. So what I'm saying, don't give up your dream. Change your lifespan. Once you do that and set your mind what you want to do, go after it. It's hard work. He worked hard. It's not easy, but don't give up. Your reward is in the end. And then you sit back and nobody say, I did not. I did it myself. And that's a good feeling that you accomplished your goal yourself. You worked hard to get it. You don't have to cheat and do all that. You worked hard to get it. That's when I'm proud of you. I am so proud of myself. because he has worked hard and he still works hard. Won't take a break, but one thing I said, he can go when he wants to go and do what he wants to do. And I am proud of you, sir.
Yes, that's right. Well, brother, talk to us tonight. Anything you get out of here tonight?
Yeah. Gotta find something that you're passionate. Something that you would love to do. You know, nothing higher than that. And you can't lose, you know, like you say. I'm not the best buddy here and all that, but I just quit my job. I'm on a mission for the Lord, you know. And I'm just on a mission, you know, to save some lives, because that's the most important thing, you know. And with good works, money just comes. I don't know how to live, but I don't live. Yeah, I'm gonna take it on road with it. But yeah, definitely with the business stuff, yeah, please make sure that it's something we really into, because it takes a while to make money. It takes a while to make money.
We took a pause for you to step out. Was there anything else you wanted to ask Mr. Allen before we go on and pray out?
Who, me?
Not you.
You ready to say
I always got something to say.
I mean, I could go on and on.
If not.
No, I think I'm okay.
If not, his door is open. He has cards. He's passing the card around. Feel free to contact him. Like I said, he's a very close friend of mine, so that means he's a close friend of ours. And with that being said, Brother Zay, we're going to do us the honors and pray us on out. Mr. Allen, would you like to, as you are our special guest, very proud to have you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Excellent job. Oh, look at the knee. Well, that's telling age.
No, man. But so.
I'm right there with you, brother. Come on. Matter of fact, woo. Got a week.
Awesome.
49 a week.
Oh, there you go. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for bringing this union together, to work together, to think together, to collaborate together, to work together, to keep you in our hearts, to keep you in our minds, that whatever our endeavors are, that we will look towards you for help and guidance as we go for our dreams. This we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, so.
We
Proud of you.
Just get ready for the